All right, so this section 10.2 in geometry, we're going to keep going with circles and talk about arcs and chords, so some different things. Arcs I don't think we've discussed before, but let's do a little warm-up actually from the previous section and see if we can answer this. So determine if segment AB is going to be tangent to circle C. Okay, so think about what needs to happen. Maybe pause the video and see if we can get that figured out for a second. Okay, so hopefully you remembered from the previous section, in order to be tangent, if a segment or a line is going to be tangent to a circle, then it must be perpendicular to the radius going through that point of tangency, which is A in this question. So we can check perpendicular or we can check if something's perpendicular, see if it forms a right angle by using the Pythagorean theorem. So let's think about the triangle formed there. 12 is the radius from A to C. We have length 16 from A to B. And a little trick here is that if that radius is 12, then we know from C to whatever point that is must also be 12. So it's making that entire side, CB, really equals 20. And that's going to be the hypotenuse in the Pythagorean theorem set up here. So what we would need to check is that is 12 squared plus 16 squared, right, the two legs, does that equal, again, this entire length here, the hypotenuse is the 12 plus the 8, or 20 squared, and we would need to do the math on that and check it out, and then that would give us our answer. Just doing a quick calculation, I see that it does work, so you can verify that. So that means that yes, AB is tangent, because again, we knew that it was perpendicular, and we used the Pythagorean theorem to check it out. Okay, so moving on, there's actually one other theorem in the section here, and what it says here is that if two segments from the same exterior point are tangent, so the same exterior point, let's call that point A right here, if they are tangent to a circle, then they are congruent. So basically, this segment right here from A to C and from A to B, those we can take to be congruent. It's a theorem. Okay, so let's see a little proof just to kind of see how that might be proven and shown to be true. So the example or the diagram we want to use, think about this picture here. Remember, the theorem said that AC would be congruent to AB, okay, as long as they're both tangent. And the trick is, since AC and AB are tangent to the circle, that means we have right angles being formed, like we saw in the warm-up. Okay, so we have a right angle there, a right angle there. Okay, and then the rest of the proof, I'm just not going to do every detail, but CP and PB would be congruent. Okay, why are they congruent? They're both radii of the circle, right? And then in addition to that, from P to A is congruent to itself, okay, by the reflexive property. So what you end up getting is these triangle here, and let's see, what color should we use? Green. These two triangles, can we prove that they're congruent and then somehow show that CA and BA are congruent? And it doesn't look like we have enough information. It looks like right now we only have an angle side-side. Remember the old donkey theorem, right? Angle side-side, think about it. Doesn't work. But there is one special one that we didn't use a lot of, but remember the old hypotenuse leg? Okay, because these are right triangles, and the hypotenuse is PA in both, and then we have a leg CP and PB. So the triangles are actually congruent, so that therefore makes the third legs, the second leg's congruent, and then we have congruent tangents. Okay, so into the new section here, talking about arcs and angles. So in a circle, basically, if you have, let's say we have a circle with center at point P, if we have an angle formed and the vertex of that angle is the center of the circle, okay, so you see the angle being formed, and we can see, again, its vertex is the center of the circle, right? So we have an arc formed. The arc, let's see if we can get the colors to match here. The arc is this, curved section, like a piece of the circle. Okay, so it's an arc. It's a section of a circle. If it is less than 180 degrees, if it's less than half the circle, it's called a minor arc. And then you can see on the other side here, if we go from B to C to A, that large arc, it's bigger than half the circle. We call that a major arc. Okay, so we have central angles, minor arcs, and major arcs. Okay, the measure of an arc equals the measure of the central angle that forms it. Okay, so let's look at that one first. So for example, in this picture here, we want to know what is the measure of arc AC. So arc AC is from point A to point C. Okay, and we can see the central angle that forms that arc, right? To go from A to C, right? Central angle, because the vertex again is the center of the circle. If that central angle is 150 degrees, then the measure of the arc is 150 degrees. Okay, and just one note on a symbol here. You see that little kind of like semicircle curve thing above AC. That's the symbol for an arc. Like AC would be a segment if you put a straight line over it, but AC with the curved is going to let you know that it's arc AC. Okay, so that's the difference, and that's just how you know what they're talking about. Okay, second part here, another piece of information. If you look at the second asterisk at the top, if the endpoints of an arc are a diameter, okay, so if we look and we have a diameter, right, the entire, the chord actually cuts through the center of the circle, so BC is a diameter, so that would make arc BC be 180 degrees. It's a semicircle, right, half of the circle, okay, because that angle, the angle BDC is 180 degrees as well. So it's just kind of a special example of using the central angle there. Okay, so let's try this example out. We have some things marked here. If you want to pause the video, just kind of real quick, see if you can get these figured out, and then unpause it and check out your answers. Okay, so if we take a look at arc BD, so again, we're just looking from B to D. There's arc BD. Okay, there is such thing as the arc addition postulate. If you think about when we did segment addition and angle addition, same kind of thing works here. So from point B to point D, the central angle there is the 60 plus the 180. Okay, so that arc would have a measure of 140 degrees. Okay, from B to E to D then, B, E, D. Okay, obviously there was a missing piece here. That angle BAE, a couple ways to think about it. We know that it's the rest of the 360 degrees. Also, it is supplementary to the 60 degree angle. As you see, it forms a semicircle. So either way you look at it, that angle BAE would be 120 degrees. So if we want to go from B, again, just follow it along through E, through D, it's the 120 plus the 100. So that is 220 degrees. And then arc BE, that was the one we just kind of found there using a couple different options. That would need to be 120 degrees. Okay, so you can add two central angles together to get an arc and use properties of a full circle being 360 and a semicircle like we saw before is 180 degrees. Okay, another kind of theorem property here about congruent arcs. So arcs in the same circle or congruent circles that have the same measure are congruent. So for example, in this picture, since they are in the same circle, right, and we look at arc AB, we see arc AB right here, and arc CD, they are both formed by 50 degree central angles, right? So each of these arcs are 50 degrees, so the arcs can be congruent to each other if they have the same measure, okay? Arcs in the same circle or in congruent circles. So these two, so determine if each of the two arcs are congruent. So example 1 on the left here and example 2. So let's kind of think about that. If we look at the two arcs in example 1, arc AB, and then we look at arc CD. Are those congruent arcs? Okay, they don't look to be the same length, but some of you might be thinking, if you look at the central angle, let's think, aren't they both formed? Whatever that angle measure is, you know, let's say it's 100 degrees or whatever, would both arcs be 100 degrees? Okay, in this case they could, right? Both of those arcs might be the same because again the central angle is the same, but the problem is they're not in the same circle, right? Remember the properties are not in the same circle, and those circles are not congruent, right? They have a different radius, right? Obviously the inner circle is smaller. So in this case the two arcs are not congruent, even though their angle, their measures could be the same. They might both be 100-degree arcs, but not congruent. Okay, so just be careful on that. But if you take a look at example 2, we have a 110-degree central angle. And then the key is that both circles, notice how they marked the radius, the radii of each circle, that little tick mark. That shows that the circles are congruent. So if the circles are congruent and the central angle is congruent, then we could go ahead and say yes, arc AB would be congruent to arc CD. Okay? So that should get you through the assignment. I want you to go ahead and write up on page 607, numbers 12 through 38. Okay, upload a picture. And then there is an extra credit problem. That one I'm going to have you guys do. If you choose to do it, it's a proof using some of this stuff. I'm going to set up a Flipgrid link where you can just write the proof out and then Flipgrid me a quick video just kind of talking me through your steps. All right.